Hey guys, welcome to Top Table Gaming. Today I'm going to be talking about what I saw and heard about at the GT. Hey guys, welcome to Top Table Gaming. You're here with your host Top Table Ben, and as I said in the intro, I am going to be talking to you guys about what I saw and I heard about at the GT. So as some of you might know, I put out a predictions video the other day, which kind of went through things that I was hoping would be brought, that were going to be discussed and shown to us at the Middle Earth seminar at the GT at Warhammer World. One of my predictions was right, but in the whole I was generally wrong. But if you haven't watched that video and you're interested in seeing what I thought and what the rest of the community thought, go and head back and check out that video before you watch the rest of this one. So Steve and I, we took a bit of a road trip yesterday afternoon down to Nottingham. It was a couple of hours drive, and when we got there we just had a look around the shop at Warhammer World. We went to Bugman's and we had an amazing burger there, and we had a bit of an opportunity to catch up with loads of members of the Great British Hobbit League community and people that we don't tend to get to see as often as we would like, which was absolutely fantastic. One of the things I really loved as well was we got there for the final game of the Saturday, and it was just amazing seeing this sea of hobbyists, you know, kind of really immersed in their games. It was just fantastic to see, and you know, there was a few people that I was going and saying hello to, and you could see that the concentration in their face, and you know, they were kind of really engrossed in their games, which was absolutely fantastic. And it's what I really love about this this hobby, is the fact that people are so passionate about it. Everyone seems to be having a great time. So yeah, I was a bit gutted that I couldn't be there for the entire weekend when I saw that, actually. Maybe next year, maybe for Throne of Skulls, I will be there. Unfortunately, this year it just wasn't to be. You're not here to hear me waffle on about what I was doing there. I'm here more to tell you guys what I saw and heard at the seminar. So the first thing I want to talk about is the new book that is going to be coming out, or the next book that's going to be coming out, which is the White Dwarf compendium. This is like a compilation of all the best Middle-earth articles that have been out since the noughties, I believe, and it's all going to be compiled into one book, which can be fantastic. It's going to be a great resource. I've got some of the older Best of White Dwarf compilations, and they are an amazing resource. Some of it is a little bit outdated because they use like the older paint colours. Some of the battle reports might not be quite in line with the current rules because there's so much change since then, but on the whole they are still fantastic reads. It would be great if some of the painting guides might be updated a little bit with the modern equivalent of the colours. That would be fantastic. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be amazing. But I think that's going to be a really cool book. Been so many cool articles that have been out in White Dwarfs recently. So one of the most recent ones that spring to mind was the burnt down houses and things. They look incredible, and to have that, you know, if you're not a White Dwarf subscriber or you didn't manage to pick up the issue, to miss out on that would be a bit of a shame. So I would highly advise, I don't know what's going to be in the book, but I'd highly advise you guys go and pick a copy of that up when it comes out. I know I certainly will be, and it's one that I'm surprisingly excited about, and it's one that was completely out of left field for me. It wasn't something that I was expecting whatsoever, so that is a welcome addition to the book collection. So on to Made to Order. So my prediction was going to be, it was going to be some Rohan and Isengard related stuff, because actually that kind of fits in with the War in Rohan theme. So my prediction, I think, was Merry and Pippin being carried by the Uruk-hai, metal Uruk-hai scouts, metal Warg Riders, and we've got a few things that are in a similar vein to that. So we only had 3 things that were confirmed, and I'm sure there will be a more extensive list than this when these do go up for pre-order, or for made to order. But first up was the Uruk-hai battering ram. I did discuss in the last video that, you know, because there's now siege rules and things, the battering ram actually kind of comes into play a little bit, and it could be a very useful model. So seeing that coming back is fantastic. It's a really cool model as well. It's lovely to paint. It looks great on it if you've got a nice scenic base on it as well. So that is going to be well worth picking up. The next one was the Metal Ent kit. Now this gets a kind of a bit of a mixed review from people who've been in the game for a long time. The plastic kit is okay, but it's quite sort of monopose and quite sort of static. I know there's different options on it and things, but they all tend to look a little bit the same. The metal ends were kind of very gnarled and very kind of I don't know how to describe them really, but they don't quite look like, they don't look anything like the plastic ents that we've got, which is great. So if you're going to be looking to start an Ent army or a Fangorn army, they will be perfect. Personally, I am going to be picking up 2 of these kits. It's not a kit that I actually picked up first time round, so I'm really excited to get to see this coming back. And as I said, I'm going to be picking up 2 of these to get a couple of different options. So when I do get around to starting a Fangorn army, which I definitely will be doing, I will have a couple of different options there. So that's one that I am quite excited about as well. The last made to order that was confirmed was the mounted Gamling without the banner. Now, this model has never been in production before. We have had a few sneak peeks of it, and the only place that we've actually seen it previously was in one of the source books. I'm guessing it was going to be the Kingdoms of Men old source book, and there was a photo of it in there, but we've never seen it since. I had an inkling that we might see this coming back at some stage, but I didn't know whether it would be as a made to order or whether it would be back as a permanent line. But when we started seeing some of the unreleased models coming back, like the Uruk-hai captain with the double-handed axe, I kind of thought that we might see some of these things that we've potentially seen, but have never actually sort of seen being made. So that's a really exciting one for me. I'm definitely going to be picking that up. I'm a collector as well as a player. I have seen a few people kind of comment on the fact that you probably wouldn't use him without banner in game. I don't necessarily think it is about playing it as a competitive model. I think it's more about that kind of completionist, and if you are a collector and you've seen that model in those old source books and you've just thought, I would love to get my hands on that, it gives you as a collector and myself an opportunity to pick up that model. Really excited for that one. That's probably the made to order that I am most excited about, but absolutely I will be getting my hands on one of them. And now on to the 2 brand new models that are going to be coming out. So the first one is one that I was expecting, and I think the entire community was expecting. It's the Crebain of Dunland. So these are like the bird models. Having looked around the hall at Warhammer World, when watching people playing, and there's a lot of Dunland armies there, you could see that people were taking Crebain, but they were using the plastic kind of birds from one of the Beastmen, what they call Endless Spells from Age of Sigmar, and they really kind of fit the bill. They kind of look the part. But we were missing the Crebain model from the Middle Earth range. So having seen that, that is great. I'll try and pop a picture up on screen, so hopefully I will be able to find one. But they are kind of like these trees, and they've got like the birds hanging off the branches, which looks, I personally think it looks really, really good. I've seen a little bit of negativity around it. Somebody said that it looks like snakes in a tree. Personally, I don't see it. I think what you've got to remember is it's a flock of birds, and I think to get a flock of birds that looks natural, I think you can't have too many of them clumped together. I think the bat swarm kind of tends to suffer with this a little bit, or all of the model just kind of seems to amalgamate into one big mass. I'm really happy with the models. I'll probably be picking a couple of these up. I am going to be building a Dunland army once I've finished some more of my Rohan. I think they look really, really good. I'll be excited to see them in the flesh, and I'll be really excited to see like a 3D. Sometimes on the website they do like a 3D view of them, so you can see around the entire model. I think that will give us a much better idea of what they look like in the flesh. I think the picture that they put up potentially on the Forge World website, Facebook page, doesn't necessarily give them do them justice, so we'll see. I am excited about that one. I think it's a model that I've been looking forward to flesh out that and finish off that Dunland army. But yeah, I think they'll look really, really cool once they're painted up and once we've got them in our hands. As I say, I don't think necessarily the photo that we've seen necessarily does it justice. And then the very last thing, and this is for me one of the most exciting things, and this one is completely out of left field. It's a brand new Keeper of the Dungeons. if that wasn't anywhere on my radar, I would never ever have guessed that there was going to be a new Keeper of the Dungeons model coming out. It looks like a lovely pose. It's got a real kind of bulk and a real sort of swagger type look to it, and the guy just looks like an absolute tank, and for good reason as well. So apparently this was an existing sculpt done by one of the Perry twins back in 2012, I believe it was. So this isn't a new sculpt. This isn't something that the Games Workshop, the Middle Earth team, have spent time redoing now. This is a sculpt that they already had, and it's a nice little extra for us. I know there's been a bit of complaining in the community saying we didn't really need another one, the other one was fine. I think they're kind of missing the point there. Personally, I would prefer to have this model, this unseen model, this unheard of model, to have a look at it, rather than and to be able to own one, rather than never seeing it, never see the light of day. So I think everyone just needs to temper their kind of negativity around it. Personally, I'm really excited about it. It's a really cool model. Apparently, back in 2012, when the films were being produced, there was the Keeper of the Dungeon was going to be Bolg originally. So some of the original packaging for the old Keeper of the Dungeon was marked as Bolg. So this was going to be another sculpt for, I think it was probably going to be the second or third film, which obviously then they changed what Bolg looked like. So then we never ever saw this one. So, as I said, I'm really excited that this one has seen the light of day, that we are going to be able to get our hands on it. Yeah, just overall really excited about that one. And that was it. That was the kind of everything that we heard about at the seminar. I was a little bit disappointed not to hear anything about upcoming supplements. However, we've got to remember that the Middle Earth team aren't necessarily giving us everything. They will be working on loads and loads of stuff. I heard it from the horse's mouth yesterday that they have got a schedule planned up until 2024. So there is a lot of stuff already in the works there. There's loads of kind of beloved models and beloved characters and things that everyone wants to see resculpted. I think it is all going to be in good time. Bear in mind as well, we have got some big events coming up in the next few weeks. So Adepticon is at the end of March. I believe there is a Games Workshop seminar there, and it would not surprise me at all if there was a Middle Earth seminar as part of that as well. So we may get even more information then. There will probably be a doubles event at Warhammer World as well, so we may get even more information at that. That's usually summertime, so July, August, I believe, from memory. So we might see something then. We'll have Ardicon during the summer, where we normally get a seminar as well. So there are lots of these events coming up where we will be getting more information. The Middle Earth team from Games Workshop, they were quite open and honest in saying they tell us pretty much when they can tell us about stuff. There might be stuff that they're not ready, that isn't ready to show, or that they're not willing to show us yet. It doesn't necessarily mean to say that it isn't happening, and I think AMA was one of those. So after the seminar, everyone got an opportunity to ask questions, and one of the questions was, I like AMA, do you like AMA, and would you like to see a new AMA? And that was asked to the Middle Earth team. And the answer was pretty much yes. So read into that what you will. It might mean nothing, but it might mean that AMA is still on the cards. I have high hopes for it. I really wholeheartedly believe that we will get a new AMA sculpt at some point. I don't know how soon that will be. I don't know when that will be announced, but I still think that that is going to be announced. I still think that is going to be a thing. So that's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel at all, make sure you're checking out all the links in the description below. We've got links to our Top Table Gaming Community Facebook page, which is a hive of activity for everything hobby and everything Middle Earth. We've got our Patreon, where you can kindly donate to us each month to help us keep the channel going. We've got a link to our Element Games affiliates code, which basically gives us a little bit kickback from Element Games every time you buy your toys or paints or any other hobby supplies from them. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.